I'm in the most expensive vehicle I've ever reviewed on the channel, and at $186,000, of course, this is the only vehicle that my kids have never wanted to get rid of. So let's review the GLS600 Maybach Bounce Edition. It wouldn't be true German luxury without a twin turbo V8. This is a 48 volt mild hybrid system, 550 horsepower. Let's roll that 0 to 60. There's 2,000 RPM. That felt a little better. There we go. There we go. We're getting closer to the advertised 0 to 60s here. 0 to 60 in 5.28, 0 to 100 in 5.56. The engine presentation here is gorgeous. We have a carbon fiber piece right here. You got the unique Maybach bends right there. It's unbelievable under the hood, and somehow sticks and leaves get in here way too easily. Get the acorns out on this side. Greeted with the Maybach lettering and the Mercedes logo. Maybach used to be its own company, and of course Mercedes-Benz bought it out. I don't know how long ago. But this GLS, I love this. This reminds me of that Louis Vuitton rep in the front with that beautiful grille here. Now, it's not aluminum or anything, it is plastic. It does feel pretty cheap, but it looks nice, and that's the most important thing. You need to look the part. As we come around to the sides, we have, and I took out the kid seats because I will be driving this car with the kids in it for the full review, but this is just the walk around. We'll get into the driving impressions here in a little bit. Anyways, 23-inch wheels. These definitely help stand apart, absolutely. Now, they're not just enormous at their diameter, but these are 285s up front with that lovely Maybach logo there. And in the back, we have 325 width series tires. These things are absolutely enormous. It looks like a drag car from behind. Now, it's not quite as quick as, let's say, the GLS63, which will do 0 to 60 in a little under 4 seconds, but speed and power is not the only things about luxury, right? We'll talk about ride quality in a little bit. Looking from this angle, it does look really nice with the chrome treatment. Mercedes has given it just the right amount in the right places. Maybe a little bit more in the C-pillar area would have been nice to kind of match that B-pillar, strong reflective chrominess, but no, I think they did that so you're focused right here. So if you see it from the sides, the wheels are a dead giveaway that you're in something special here, as well as that Maybach piece there on the side, that D-pillar coming to the back, of course, says Maybach. To the left of the Mercedes logo, GLS600, only powertrain that this Maybach comes with that I'm aware of. Opening the rear, this is a treat because check out how this lifts up. It looks like it's mechanized, but it's just so well done and lifted by these straps here. Now, this has the cool box, which we'll show you with the champagne for the campaign on the inside. I don't know if that's standard, but maybe I'd be getting rid of that if I was getting one of these because I would want that extra cargo capacity for my golf clubs. Underneath this nice aluminum adorned floor, not a whole lot. Maybe a fix-a-flat kit, first aid kit in here, and then we can also raise and lower the back here with the press of this button. Pretty nice little 12 volt back here as well, but it is pretty dark. I wish Mercedes would have included some more lights. Yes, there is actually lights right here, so maybe during the daytime it just looks especially dark with that champagne cooler. Button way up here at the top to close the back. And now I'm going to show you the back seat from two different angles. And the reason is this is a traditional seating position where you're sitting pretty upright, and then over there I have the completely reclined. Now, I spent about 10 minutes trying to figure out how to lift up the ottoman here and couldn't figure it out. Now, we can play with the sunshades back here, flip this up, it looks great. I can flip up the roof sunshade as well, and it completely darkens the skylight with this beautiful panoramic roof. This is not see-through, for example, even though it's a pretty lightweight screen. So we're gonna keep it open for the sake of the video to allow a little bit more light through. The Burmeister stereo and the speaker grills in here are, it's just a masterpiece, and they've worked really well with Mercedes and Maybach here to produce such a beautiful design for the speaker grills. Of course, it's down here at the bottom. I haven't even seen this one yet because these speaker grills are everywhere. The aluminum cheese graters feel so nice in the hands to the touch. Everything here is soft touch. Even look, a little stitching here on the bottom of the door, on the armrest up here. You got the ambient lighting, extra layers here on the side. So the luxury here is fantastic. Of course, you have illuminated logos here. And since the car is running, I got to turn it off so you guys can see the running boards, because apparently the vehicle won't pop out the running boards if the engine's running. The beautiful Maybach logo here, huge running boards. It is hard to put the kids in. I actually have to climb up here to put the kids in. It makes it a little bit more difficult actually having this. This is not that tall of a vehicle, but if maybe you're ancient or really, really small, you would need this extra running board to get up. Also at night, you have 2 different puddle lamps per door. One like the sparkly Maybach logos going on, and then you have a big logo as well. Now I want to get on this end so you guys have an idea of how far I'm able to lay back. It's incredibly comfortable. This pillow on top is amazing. I like the extra lumbar support of the Maybach pillow that is also included in here. Of course, you have vents right there. Ooh, that did not sound good when I slammed it. Why did that does not sound good at all. It could be the sunshade rattling inside the door. So I'm gonna fast forward with the sunshade to see if that's what's causing that to be rattly. Nope, it just doesn't sound good when you close this door. Interesting. That is the only disappointing thing I've had so far in this truck. Okay, beautiful Maybach logo here, ambient lighting, mat pocket on each side, vents here, vents there, speakers up top, leather. This is not like a suede headliner, guys. This is a leather headliner. Of course, the handles are stitched here. You got the nice map lights, additional vent right here as well. Kind of that spa vent above that just helps with circulation, but it's not like off-putting direct airflow like you would get from these vents. You do have climate control adjustments here, but you also have everything at your disposal back here too. If I want to adjust the climate control, I can just press the corner button. But back to home, this is also ejectable. There's a little USB-C that retracts in there, and you can bring this and move this around with you. Now it's super glossy. It is kind of hard to see if there are reflections. But yes, this is how you adjust the seats and all their many different settings. But like I said, I couldn't figure out how to get the bottom cushion to extend forward with this additional pillow at the bottom. All right, single phone charger back here, and I don't think there's a way to tuck it away. It's always sticking out, which I think is pretty ugly. I wish this was just ejectable. I could tuck it away some way, somehow, but I don't think it is. USB-C's here on this side. If I push this bad boy down, push this nice wood away, we have heated and cooled drink holders here. And there is a large one and a small one, and you have this metal piece on the middle here that heats and cools the drinks. What is this? I'm not sure what this is. Oh, this is your champagne glass holder. So you put it in here, and these are going to hold the bell, or what's the bottom portion, the foot stand of the champagne. Sorry for my lack of champagne glass terminology. Now lifting this up, yes, we also have the Airflight style dinner trays. It's magnetized, so you do have to flip it up, but this is where your stewardess is going to give you your meal for your long trip, or you could put out a laptop here. But this is aluminum. Of course, it's lightweight, feels very high quality. I'll figure out a way to put that away. My kids haven't discovered that yet, but once they do, it's game on. There is no additional 12 volt in here, but at least you could put some storage, maybe a magazine or something with that felt lined liner. Now, right here, another Maybach logo. Flip this down, and you have a felt-lined piece here to keep your champagne glasses nice and protected. And then you have a cool box with 2 different settings for your wine chiller or your champagne chiller. Looks like it can fit 3 bottles. It looks like 3 bottles, and I like how there's a light in there. Awesome, absolutely amazing attention to detail and luxury going on in the back seat. Now, as much as I like it back here, my kids get to enjoy it and screw with me while I'm driving. So you'll get to piece that while I'm driving, but I'm gonna head into the front seat to talk about the luxury there. Just like the back door, we have incredible luxury, attention to detail on this front door. This is how you open the lift gate. Burmeister right here, looks amazing with this A-pillar grille as well. heated and ventilated seat buttons back here, as well as they were in the back seat too, of course, as well as massaging seats in the back. I forgot to mention that. My kids, 3 and 4 year olds, are massaging themselves while I'm driving them to school. It's ridiculous. All right, memory seats. I can control the memory seat for the passenger side as well. These seats are incredibly comfortable, and yes, they massage you, so it is about as good of an experience you could ask for. If you want to adjust the heated steering wheel, it is a button right here next to the motorized steering wheel button. That took me a while to figure out. We also have paddle shifters on this steering wheel. I don't like, honestly, the touch capacitiveness. For example, if I'm in Android Auto, which I am right now, this little directional pad on the right adjusts the Android Auto, as well as this directional pad adjusts the screen as well. And it is a touch screen, so there's just a lot of ways to interact with it. This I don't like, this I don't like. The only way I like interacting with this screen is through the touch screen. At least they give you that option. I also like how Android Auto is always in the shortcut right up here on the top left. If you wanted to activate the bounce mode, you put your foot on this amazing Maybach pedal, brake pedal here. You flip it into, and you got to go down all the way because it took me a while to find the off-road mode. It has to be on off-road, activate drive program. Then you press down here, which is going to pull up the off-road screen. Then you go to assistance and you click recovery mode, but you have to be in drive. So there's all these different tricks that you have to go through, and you're not going to be able to see it right now because the GoPro is going to stabilize it, but I'm going to go ahead and stop, and I'll put that B-roll in there with me flopping around in the car. I'm going to actually activate it today, picking up my kids in Carline. It's going to be ridiculous. All right, I like the vent placement here. I like the customization. I also love the simple yet elegant with the stitching around it of the climate control. We lift this beautiful wooden, kind of like a retractable piece here. Reminds me of some Volvos. We have a wireless charger, 2 USBs, heated and cooled drinks. Now, unfortunately, these are not a small size and a big size. They're both really big, and it doesn't fit all of my drinks. So my drinks kind of flop around if they're tall and skinny. So yeah, that button will heat and cool your drinks. There's the touchpad to interact with the screen. This is how you switch songs or switch presets for Sirius XM while you have your Android Auto going. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but it is what it is since I don't have dedicated buttons for presets in here that are not touch capacitive, or you guys know what I mean. I like volume control right here off the Maybach handrest, and drive modes are right here as well. Like I mentioned, you got to be in the off-road mode if you want it to bounce. I keep it in Maybach mode when I'm driving around, and I can also customize this screen tons of different ways. Check out, and I have to use this little guy over here to swipe around to choose different MID screens. I keep it on the Maybach because no other GLS is going to have this customized information cluster here. And then I could also swipe through some of the information here if I wanted to. But I have the world's best head-up display in here. I don't know if it's going to pull it up, but I can customize it with minimal, sport, standard, off-road, and off-road takes up a huge portion of my viewing experience. This is the best head-up display I've ever seen in my testing. And yes, I don't want this head-up display to leave my house. I want to keep it. I wish it could like transport every single car I will be in as I review cars here in 2024. But I keep it either in standard or sport mode because sport will show me the RPMs on my head-up display. It's pretty cool. All right, here's your controls for your massive sunroof. No, it doesn't open up. It's only viewable only from the glass. You can't slide that glass. I like the ambient lighting up there as well. We have this weird grille pattern that almost looks like another vent, but it's not. Kind of reminds me in some ways of the new Camry that kind of has this weird pattern that goes across the dash. I love the wood that goes around the vents. What else? Oh, this is a bit strange. We have these handles here, and they kind of are in the way. I've gotten used to them at this point, but that was something super strange when I first got in here. They just are kind of there. They don't need to be. Additional off-roading buttons here and ride height adjustment, which I'm not going to play with. Another USB-C in here. And then we have more space in here for additional belongings. The comfort is, well, it's better than any vehicle I've ever been in. We have, I don't know, probably 10 different types of massage settings here. They all work great. And let's say I'm in Android Auto and I don't want to go through all the menus. Turn on my massaging seat.
I'm switching on the
And it's on.
for you.
It's on right now. And I'm happy. I don't have to thumb through the menus. Yes, it would be better to have an actual button because I don't like voice activated systems, and she sounds like a robot, and I don't like robots, but she works when I want massaging seats, and that's the only reason I would ever use her. So there is that.
Can I do?
No, she's still asking me for stuff. No, you can do nothing for me. You've done what I wanted you to do. And if the massaging seat function isn't enough, you can go to seat here and type in seat kinetics. And what this does is not only am I getting massaged, I have two cameras facing me at the same time, which is anyways, the seat will move, the cushion will move up and down, so you're not stuck in the same spots over and over or just continuously throughout your long drive. You can be moved around so your back or your knees or your hips don't lock up on you while you're driving. To me, I turn it off because it's pretty distracting. The massaging seat is all I need, but if I was 85 and driving this, maybe I would like it, so I'm not so stiff when I get out. Tons of different ambient lighting settings here. Purple, I like purple in cars. You know, I like this 90s retro synthwave sort of design as well, so it's pretty neat. And there's also all these additional energizing comfort modes, which no thanks. I'll just go back to my Android Auto. Different light settings for the light bar around the dash. We have light bars around the handles. We have reflections of said handles in the window, which is a bit distracting. You have lights that go on the sunroof. Then in the back you have more ambient lighting just about everywhere, and you can't miss your cup holders down there. So I found out this morning, it's a little chilly, turn on the heated seat, but my armrests on each side actually heat up as well. So I just picked up the girls from school. They're in their happy position back there. The first complaint, you know, as they're getting used to the Maybach here, is that they want games on that little tablet, that removable tablet in the back seat, and there are no games on it. So Mercedes-Benz, don't be so serious. Put some games on that tablet. We also did the bounce in the car line. So I'm sure, you know, the teachers and, you know, the other parents probably, well, the parents probably just thought I was a big idiot, but the teachers were laughing and having a good time, which they probably thought I was an idiot as well. But man, the bounce, once it gets going, so it takes a while to pick up momentum, but once it gets going, it is like violent. It's almost hard to keep your foot on the brake pedal because it is tossing you around like a washing machine. Pogo stick? Maybe pogo stick's the better explanation. No more bumpy things. Maybe when we get home, okay? All right, so what is it like driving a $180,000+ luxury SUV? It's fantastic, as you would expect. It is incredibly smooth. Now, it's a mild hybrid. And luckily, Mercedes-Benz has put the cancel auto start stop feature right next to the start button. So when you start the truck up, if you hate that feature, you can just press that immediately and you don't have to worry about the V8 turning on and off, because most of the time it's pretty smooth, but there are times where the engine will kick back on when you're waiting, and then it's not at a happy RPM. It'll be like somewhere around 600 to 700 RPM, and it'll kind of like shake and get unpleasant vibrations through the cabin. But most of the time it's pretty smooth. But if you hate that, they make it easy. You can just defeat it right here with this button. Comfort in here is an A+, like I said. Turn on the massaging seats, which I don't want to run through the menus, so turn on my massaging seat.
I'm switching on the massage for you.
You know, it's a little slow, but at least I'm able to keep my eyes on the road. What is it like to brake? Well, everything about this vehicle, including the brakes, is butter. Very predictable, very smooth. You get a little pitch and dive. She wants to keep listening for some reason. But the pitch and dive is there just a little bit, even if you smooth it out. It's extremely quiet in here. The only noises you really have coming in is the snarl of the V8 when you bury your foot into it. That's about it. Girls, is this your favorite car you've ever been in?
Yes. Yes. Rather than our car that we have, like
What was that, Reggie?
The sauces are hard.
The massage is hot? Well, then you can turn that off. You can turn off the heated seat too, love.
How did
I don't know. You guys know more about that back seat than I do. You've spent a lot more time back there than I have. The handling in here, you know, for such a big, heavy SUV, you know, I haven't looked it up, but don't close the shade, girls, because my camera's on suction to the sunroof. But for such a big, heavy vehicle, I believe it has four-wheel steering, because at low speeds, it feels like it maneuvers and has a very short turning radius. I'm almost positive it has four-wheel steering, but I haven't looked it up. I just kind of get that sensation. The 360 camera in here is great, which it's not going, I'm traveling too fast apparently for it, which is unfortunate. Oh, there it goes. So once you're at about 7 miles an hour, it'll pop this up and you can see it around you. But now it's gone since I'm over 10 miles an hour. So, all right, well, let's get into the pickup here. Yep, it's crazy smooth, crazy amounts of torque as you would expect from a twin turbo V8. The mild hybrid, there's a little gauge here at the bottom that has a charge gauge. So when you're just coasting, it's charging up the little mild hybrid battery. And then when you really get into the pedal or when you're starting from a stop, there's a little power gauge for the electrical system. I really never notice it. It's really there to help with emissions, I think. So it can have a more smooth start-stop engine technology in it. It feels kind of similar to Mazda's mild hybrid system that they have in the CX-90, but that's an inline six. This is a V8, totally different power spectrum. I guess we don't have a lot of bends where I live in Florida. I mean, if you've been to Florida, you know it's mainly flat and straight. And at this time of year, I'm really held up by elderly who are visiting, and they're out on the streets, and so I can't really push this thing to its limits due to the unexpectedness of bad drivers here. But even in this Maybach mode, throwing around the turn, it feels awesome. You just have so much tire with a 285 up front and a 325 in the back. You have so much tire in contact with the road at all times that you just feel like you're glued to it. And I think with that much tire surface as well, it really helps with the ride quality in here. It's hard to say that it might be the best like ride quality vehicle I've ever been in. I can't think, I've been in the GLS600 ultra luxury. This is smoother. Now that's body on frame, and you can't do a whole lot to get away from that body on frame feeling. Some people prefer that body on frame feeling. I just had an Escalade 600 last week, and that was incredibly smooth. And I feel like it gives me like 9/10 of that smoothness that I have here. But having turbos on a V8 is just a little bit more satisfying. And definitely the 9-speed here is, it's buttery smooth and quick at the same time. So yeah, I think, even if you're buying this vehicle and you don't plan on driving it because you're going to be in the back seat sipping your champagne, I think you would really enjoy it. If you are someone who's going to be driving it as an owner, you're going to be happy as well. Yes, the technology is a bit overload, and I'm a tech guy, and it took me some time. Now, this is my first Mercedes on the channel, and so there was a slight learning curve, but there's just a lot of menus. There's a lot of interfaces here between the steering wheel, the touchpad, and the touchscreen. There's a lot going on, but I feel like it allows you to grow with the vehicle. You can figure it out pretty quickly, and then there's all sorts of like secret handshake sort of things you can figure out as you go along, as you learn the truck better. So like I said, this is the only vehicle that all three of my kids I have more than that, but the three kids that I've been driving in this, all of them have said that they want to keep this truck. They don't want to get rid of it. And so let's say you're in the market for a GLS, maybe not this 600 because it only has 4 seats, but I think the family would really, really like it, even if you get it in the third row configurations. I'm sure the ride quality is not going to suffer too much, and the power is not going to drop off too much, especially if you get the GLS63. But I want to thank Mercedes-Benz for sending me this truck. Really, if I have one bad thing to say about it, it would be that back right door when I close it. It just doesn't sound very quality, but I think the rest of the truck I mean, I can't really, huh? What?
Right.
It's great. Yeah, Eve loves it. Reggie, do you love it?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. I mean, you know, as they're getting their backs massaged back there. So thanks, Mercedes and Maybach, for sending this to us. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I will be sad to see it go. Enjoy the rest of the video with some sublime B-roll.